Hey guys, Safety Dave here. So today I'm going to go over our lockout tagout program, LOTO program. So this is new, kind of a newer program. We've done lockout tagout with the man lifts when setting two adjacent panels next to the man hoist. But this is the first job where we've had a lockout tagout program, okay, which is required by regulatory code for us to be legally locking and tagging out the man hoist. So what I have is our lockout tagout program. All right. So the Walters and Wolf site specific Bellevue Plaza lockout tagout program. And I'm going to use this program to kind of educate you properly on how we lock and tag out the man hoist. But what I have in the beginning of this booklet is an email that was sent from GLY, from Rob Taylor, and from Isaiah Villa. So basically, and there's what's going to happen is when we need to lock and tag out the man hoist, there's going to be certain people that we have to notify. We have to notify Justin Ruth in advance and schedules lockout tagout protocol to allow the continuation of curtain wall install. Note that GLY's front wall panels, plywood, 2x material are built up in a way that allows an access door within the wing wall on either side. So this can be removed so the curtain wall can be completed. Note that only one set of dual cars should be shut down at a time. So for example, when glazing panels are installed on the south side of the man lift, next to cars 1A and 1B, the 1C and 1D cars should remain functioning. Once the south side glazing panel is installed and cars 1A and 1B are back online, the lockout tagout of 1C and 1D cars and installation of glazing panel on north end of man lift can commence. So we don't want to shut down both sides of the car, and that is due to the call box. So 1A and 1B, that call box, if you lock and tag out those two cars, or either one of those cars, that call box gets shut down. Same for the other side, but the call boxes are individual. So 1A and 1B call box and 1C and 1D has a call box, and they are separate of each other. So if you lock out 1A or 1B, 1C and 1D's call box still works. If you have any questions on that, let me know. So step 2 is Justin Ruth coordinates power shutdown and disconnect with Prime Electric. A formal lockout tagout keyed lock protocol is used, and car power must remain off while wing wall access panel is removed. Walters and Wolf stalls glazing panel and access door is replaced to restore a safe working condition. Step 3. Area around the man lift where work was performed is cleared and inspected by GLY Darla Perkins to ensure man lift front curtain wall are secure, safe, and compliant for man lift to be reactivated. So Darla Perkins is our GLY labor liaison. Step 4, GLY, Darla, or Justin Ruth to reach out to Prime Electric to complete lockout and tagout protocol, remove lock from disconnect, and restore power. Step 5, man lift operator is notified by Justin Ruth to return post and can resume service. So I talked to Isaiah Villa. I want to let you know that this was their sort of temporary plan. So it says that Prime Electric will conduct the lockout tagout. That is not true. We need to communicate with Justin Ruth and we need to communicate with Darla Perkins, but our authorized person can conduct the lockout tagout process. Now, this is very important. When I say authorized person, I mean the one designated person that we have designated, that Tom Giles or Brian Seisler has designated for Tower 1 to be the lockout tagout person. No one else is allowed to remove or install that lock. So just for example, say the lockout tagout person is Corey Bauer. Okay, Corey Bauer would have lock number 4. Corey Bauer would have both keys to lock number 4. At no time is anyone allowed to disc or unlock Corey Bauer's lock. Does that make sense? Okay, that is illegal. If L&I ever sees us doing it, they will cite us immediately. That is in the WAC, and I can show you the WAC regulation. It's very important, okay? If Corey Bauer, for some reason, has to leave site or can't be found, then I and Tom Giles have to be notified, and possibly Gabe Carpenter, and we have to do everything we can to locate Corey. If Corey, we have to get him on the phone and say, Corey, where are you? Oh, man, I just had to go home, Dave. I wasn't feeling good. Oh, sorry I didn't communicate. All right, Corey, here's the deal. We are going to unlock your lock. All right? I want you to understand. And Corey's going to have to say, yes, that's okay. I understand. So, does that make sense? All right. Now, so the purpose of this lockout tagout program is to protect our workers while setting units next to the man hoist. Okay, there are so this program covers that application only. That's the only time we lock and tag out. All right, we don't lock and tag out anything else to do repairs. We don't lock and tag out our scissor lifts or our pallet jacks because we are not authorized to repair that equipment. Only Dave Wright is. Okay, so you'll notice on page 4 you have your table of contents. You have your energy control program. Energy control program. Walters and Wolf has established a program consisting of energy control procedures, employee training, and periodic inspections to ensure that before any employee performs any service or maintenance on a machine or equipment or performs tasks near machinery and equipment where the unexpected energizing, startup, or release of stored energy could occur and cause injury, the machine or equipment shall be isolated from all energy sources and rendered inoperative. All right, so there's 3 core components to this program. Your energy control procedures, the step-by-step process of how we will conduct the lockout tagout procedure. Periodic inspection of the energy control procedure. So define who is an authorized inspector, which will be myself and currently Tom Giles. So as authorized inspectors of the program, and we basically make sure that the lockout tagout procedure in this program is being followed and that people are properly trained. We are not allowed to be the ones to lock or unlock the locks. Okay, we can only inspect. All right. So, and then section 3 is employee training, retraining, and communication. So we'll have everybody sign it and date it and say, I've been properly trained. So the authorized employees. So the following persons are authorized to lock and tag out the machines or equipment using the following documented procedures. So GLY has defined Pat Thornquist from Prime Electric. So he is an authorized person, but we will affix, whoever Tom chooses, will affix the designated lockout tagout person's name here. And of course, they work for us. So the purpose is procedures establish the minimum requirements for necessary to protect employees from injury caused by unexpected energization. So compliance with this program, all employees are required to comply with the restrictions and limitations imposed upon them during the use of lockout. Authorized employees will perform the lockout as described in these procedures, and no employee will attempt to start, energize, or use any machine or equipment that is locked out. Failure to comply with these procedures will result in disciplinary action. So you'll notice page 6. Here is a basic picture. This is Dexter Yard, but here's a picture of a man hoist, all right? Inside of the man hoist, outside of the man hoist, all right? So while hoisting, so here it is, intended use, lockout, tagout for construction hoist. Intended use, while hoisting unitized curtain wall units for installation purposes within 10 feet or 2 unit widths to either side of the construction hoist, Walters and Wolf authorized LOTO employee will properly lock out and tag out the hoist car at its energy source to prevent the car from operating during unit installation. So, step 1, we will identify the 2 hazard energy sources. So we have electrical and we have gravity, all right? So there's power, electrical power running to it, and gravity, all right? So step 2, you will notify all affected employees that the machine or equipment is to be shut down and locked out, and for what purpose. So the definition for the purpose of this program of an affected employee is an employee whose job requires him or her to operate or use a machine equipment on which lockout or tagout is being performed. So this definitely includes the man lift operator. All right, so we need to let them know. Also, I recommend calling over the call box to notify people that we are shutting down the man hoist for the purpose of current wall installation. All right. So the affected employees would be the construction hoist operator. Also, the authorized employee should call out over the hoist call box that the particular car is going to be shut down and locked out until the adjacent units are installed and rigging is quote unquote cut loose. Step 3. Ask the hoist car operator to shut down the hoist by normal stopping procedures, such as depressing a stop button and turning off the key or switch. I want to mention that before you have them shut it down, make sure they come all the way to the ground to eliminate the gravity portion of that energy. So, step 4. Completely isolate the energy of the construction hoist by using the energy isolating procedures below. So, number 1, we have energy source of electrical. Step 1, hoist electrical box stop button. Number 2, hoist electrical box shutoff switch or hoist main breaker shutoff switch. So, isolation instruction. Depress the car's electrical box emergency stop button. Number 2, shut off either the electrical box shutoff switch or the shutoff switch at the car's main breaker. So you'll notice here I have pictures of what that breaker box looks like. There's the red shutoff switch. Here it is a little bit bigger, and here's the turn knob, and it has the lock. You'll notice on this picture, on these decals, it'll give you the instruction for the lockout process, and that's on all man hoist. So your second energy source is gravity. You'll see gravity. Number 1, isolation device when the car is brought down to the lowest level. So here's instruction is make sure that the hoist car is brought to its lowest level, ground dock, before isolating electrical energy. So you'll notice here, have that car come all the way down to the dock. And that's how you isolate both means of energy. Okay. Step 5, lock out the energy isolating device with individually assigned locks and tags. So specific instruction. The authorized employee will attach their assigned lock to the car's electrical box shutoff switch or to the car's main breaker shutoff switch. Placing the lock through the switch's designated location, the authorized employee will also attach a tag with their name, number, and our company name, Walters & Wolf, written legibly on the tag to the lock. Or, if the lock has a section intended to include authorized employee's information, the authorized employee may then write the above stated information on the lock instead of using a tag. So this is an actual picture of the tags and locks that we have. You'll notice this is lock number 4 with a key. So the authorized person will have both of those keys and this lock. Now, they can either use a tag, which is in the lockout tagout kit, which is... it's in a little black bag. Hold on one second. This is a lockout tagout kit. So you'll notice this black bag inside the dry shack. That's a lockout tagout kit. So, and on the locks, you'll notice that they have a place where you can actually put your name and number. So instead of using a tag, right, you can use a tag, which is great. It's best practice, but notice here on the back, so put your name and number. If there's no room, then you'll put it on here. And only the authorized person name and number. Okay, so that's the instruction. So step 6, make sure the construction hoist is completely isolated from the energy source and that any residual energy has been made safe. Check that no personnel are exposed. So the instruction to do that is the authorized employee will ask the car operator to attempt to operate the hoist as they normally do. Once it is verified that the hoist car is completely inoperable, then the authorized employee knows that it's safe to proceed with unit installation. So caution, you'll notice a caution portion of that. Make sure that the car operator returns the operating controls to the safe, neutral, or off position after verifying the equipment is isolated from its energy source. So once you've locked everything out, ask the operator, say, hey, can you go in and try to operate these cars as you usually do? She'll go in or he'll go in, he'll turn the button. Oh, it's not operating. Good. That means we properly isolated the energy source. So make sure you ask them, okay, now will you shut everything off again? Make sure you, that way when you do turn it on and release it from lockout tagout, it doesn't start moving. All right. So communication, step 7. So communicate with the setting crew, letting the setting crew designated lead know that the construction hoist, the man lift, has been locked and tagged out, and it is safe to proceed with unit flyout and installation. Also, it is recommended that the authorized LOTO person stay with at the isolation location until the units have been installed. So I recommend that whoever does the lockout tagout, it's only 2 panels, stay with their lock. They don't have to, but it's best practice. So when releasing from lockout tagout, here are the instructions, and that's on page 9. Pretty simple. There's 3 instructions. So before lockout tagout devices are removed and energy restored, authorized employees must complete the following procedures. Curtain wall unit installation completion. The authorized employee will assure that the units have been set and rigging completely removed by communicating with the setting crew designated lead rigger and through visual confirmation. Affected person notifications. All affected employees must be notified that the lockout or tagout devices are being removed and that the energy is being restored to the hoist. So you can notify the operator and then maybe call over the box. Lockout tagout device removal. The lockout or tagout device must be removed from the energy isolating device by the authorized employee who applied that device only. No other person other than the authorized employee who applied the lock and tag is allowed to remove the lock and tag from the hoist energy source. This is very important. So when can an employee other than one who applied the lockout tagout remove the device? When the authorized employee who applied the lock or tag device is not available to remove it, the device may be removed under the direction of the site safety manager or the site superintendent, authorized inspection personnel. So steps to be taken by authorized employee other than one who applied the lockout tagout device. So the Walters and Wolf curtain wall authorized inspection personnel, either the superintendent or the site safety manager, whoever is identified in this program, must verify that the authorized employee who applied the device is not on site. The Walters and Wolf authorized inspector personnel, either the superintendent or site safety manager, must make all reasonable efforts to contact the authorized employee to inform him or her that his or her lockout tagout device is going to be removed under the direct supervision by another authorized employee on site. So the Walters and Wolf curtain wall authorized inspection personnel, either the superintendent or site safety manager, must ensure that the authorized employee know that the lockout tagout has been removed before they return to the work site. On page 10, LOTO program inspection. So this designates who the authorized person is. One person on there already is Justin Ruth. He's been designated by the GLY foreman. And then eventually you'll see my name as the site safety manager. And then you'll see Tom Giles' name, and he's already been trained. So, authorized inspection personnel not involved in energy control procedure. The following persons are authorized but not involved in the energy control procedure. So, as inspection personnel authorized, we are not to be involved in any of the lockout tagout. We just oversee it, make sure this program is being followed, and make sure in the event that we can't get a hold of someone that we follow the proper procedures to get that lock off. And then at least annually, we need to go through this program and make sure that we're still following it. Employee training and communication. So we're required by law to train authorized employees and affected employees, which would include everyone in our setting crew. Pretty much all our employees will review this. So this is kind of what that's doing. It talks about tags on page 11, just, how they must be legible. And then training will be done anytime there are changes to the site or anytime someone shows that they aren't following this program. So we'll go ahead and have you put your name, whether you're an authorized or an affected. So if you're not authorized, you're affected, the date you were trained, and your signature. And then that's it. And then in the back, we have definitions. So if you're ever curious, definitions regarding lockout tagout. And like I said, like I've said before, if you have any questions, just reach out to your site supervisor, your site superintendent, or myself, and we'll be glad to help you. Thanks, guys.